Big word with Tom Llamas to drill down on where we are right now. NBC News has not called this race yet. They still got Donald Trump at 266. How does he? What's his path now to finish up this?
Yeah, and we just want to make sure we're absolutely right about all this. At some point, we will call Alaska. That almost always goes red. That gets him to 269. You come over to Maine again. We haven't called the races in Maine yet. Maine, like Nebraska, gives out its electoral votes by popular vote. It'll probably go blue. And then by congressional districts. And congressional district 2, CD2, it's usually a red district. And once we do that, you can see his number there, Lester. He gets to 270. It hasn't happened at this point yet. We expect that to happen at some point. We will project that once it happens, but we're just not there yet. We're not trying to keep anything away from former President Trump. We're just not there in the night yet.
Right. And so the headline of this night would be, because you went through state by state, and we kept seeing the same thing: underperform, underperform, underperform. Is that the story?
The story is he overperformed in the rural areas. She underperformed in the urban areas, in the big cities, in the counties. She needed to win. She was underperforming Biden pretty much in all the battleground states. And when we started the night, Lester, remember, we even did this last night on Nightly News, we showed you the easiest path for Trump. And it's not easy to become president, obviously, but the easiest path for him was to hold North Carolina. He did that, flip Georgia, and then win Pennsylvania, and he'd get to the White House. And tonight he's done that.
So you'd walked us through that. And so
we're still waiting on Wisconsin and Michigan, Nevada and Arizona.
So officially we're at 266 now, I think.
We're at 266 right now. We're at 266, right? And we're waiting on Alaska and then the congressional districts in Maine.
Was this something that could have been anticipated, given what the polls down the stretch, the tie?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. We had a call with the Trump campaign a few days ago, and they were bullish on their sort of prospects. But again, on those calls, they're sometimes trying to spin you. And, sometimes you take this with a grain of salt. Are they right? It turns out on that call, they were right on a lot of what they were seeing in their own data about the early voting. Once early voting started coming back in some of these states and Republicans were matching Democrats, that was a big sign to Democrats like, listen, wait a minute, things may be changing here. It may not be as easy as we thought. And no one thought it was going to be easy. Everyone thought it was going to be a coin flip. It was going to be so tight. But now looking back, and we can look back a little bit and maybe Monday morning quarterback and say there were signs there for Democrats to be a little nervous.
And Hallie, obviously Democrats have a lot ahead of them now as they try to work through this and find the lessons. Yeah. But that takes time. Yeah, these things don't get turned around even in 4 years.
And at this moment, I think there is, by all accounts and by the reporting that our teams are doing, a bit of a moment of shell shock here for Democrats, for folks who had worked to try to turn out the vote for Vice President Kamala Harris, who had hoped that tonight would be history-making in a very different kind of way, that instead of seeing, of course, Donald Trump elected, that the nation would see its first female president, its first president who was a woman of color. That is, by the math that you and Tom just laid out, looks to not be the case once Donald Trump does hit 270 electoral college votes. I'm struck by some reporting that members of our team put in from a Harris aide who talked about needing to find some love for the people, the other half of the country, not Democrats, right, not Harris backers, who chose to back former President Trump despite or perhaps because of his rhetoric here. And so I am curious to see, as morning, I was going to say night turns into day, but as early morning turns into later morning, where Democrats are on this. I think you heard some of it at the table when we were with former Senator Claire McCaskill, former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, about maybe a moment of soul searching for Democrats, what the brand is, what the outreach is to Americans here, especially when our exit polling shows that fewer people identify as Democrats right now. We saw that surge in people who said that they really weren't down with either party, Lester. And so that is also a factor here, I think, as Democrats are looking at what this moment means for them and how they move forward. I do also think that control of the House, and whether that goes Democratic or not, is also going to be a factor in this as well.
Okay, Hallie, thanks very much. We're going to take a quick break right here, and then we'll pick it right up with our colleagues Kate Snow and Craig Melvin. Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.